Welcome to Looplearnings, and this is video number 21, I believe, of this series. We are making POS system in Microsoft Access. We have done a lot of work in previous video. We did the inventory management. If you haven't watched that video, I would strongly recommend you to do that. And in today's video, we are going to focus on the order form so that you can see in front of you. But before we go ahead and proceed with doing our today's work, I would like to ask you, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon as well, so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. And if you happen to like this video, at the end of this video, please make sure that you hit the like button and share it with others, whomever you think that this video will be suitable for. Anyway, so as I mentioned, in today's video, we are going to focus on the order form. Order form is kind of major form in a POS system, because most of the time user will be interacting with the order form. So we have to be very careful when we think about the features that we would like to build in the order form. So what I will do today is I will go ahead and do the coding behind save data button, and basically save button will be used for the for creating a new order and for updating the existing record. So for that purpose, we are going to do coding for the save button. And of course, we will have print order, print invoice. We'll have these buttons as well, but this we are going to focus later. First of all, we are going to focus on the order form itself. And in this video, we will also focus on this subform. This is actually a subform which is embedded in the main form, and we will do the VBA coding for the subform as well. So we have a couple of buttons here. One button is for deleting a line item. So for example, if you have added any item here in the order and for some reason you wish to delete the line item, then this button will be used. Of course, there will be some conditions that those conditions will be applicable, and we will go through those conditions as well. What if you would like to change the quantity, right? What if you would like to change something else in this line? That means you will have to have another form which should be opened by clicking on this button. That's why this button is there. So you can change the quantity that you wish to. For example, initially you chosen 2 pieces, so customer required 3 pieces, so you should be able to easily change the quantity. So that's what we are going to look at, how we are going to do, right? So this is for this particular video, this is what we are going to do. Right, let's start with the save data button. So conditions, what conditions we are going to embed behind this button? Well, first of all, if the order is already invoiced, right, the invoice status is already order status is invoiced and invoice status is already invoice, then of course no changes should be done in the order whatsoever. Okay, and then the order type should not be empty. If we are creating a new order, our order type should not be empty, and that is it, because rest of the information will come from later when we will add the line item. So when we will add a line item here, then automatically the order total, discount, well, it will appear after having these fields filled in. So let's move forward and let's do VBA coding behind save button first. So I'll go to the design view. Let's select the save data button. We'll go to the form design, property sheet, and from the event tab I will click on the ellipsis or ... and we'll choose the code builder. So first thing let's do is let's copy this code, and this code is mandatory for the error handling, so that's why I use this. So let's build in the first logic. So the first one is if me dot status dot value is equal to invoiced, right? Then to cmd dot beep message box, this action cannot be performed as the order has been invoiced already. Okay, so if the order is invoiced, we don't want anything to be updated. Simple as that. All right. Else. Now if the order is else if, not else. Now if the order is not invoiced, basically it's a new order we are creating. Then if the order is not invoiced, but it is in progress, then the update should be made, right? So let's say if the order status is new order, so it will remain new order until the order is invoiced. Then in that case, what will happen is that the updates should be made. What updates which I'm talking about? Well, the updates with regards to changing the order type, with regards to giving the discounts, or with regards to adding any new item in the order. So anything can be updated, anything can be deleted until the order status becomes invoiced. So there are two statuses for the order. One is new order and the second order status is invoiced. So that is it. Okay, so else if me dot status dot value is equal to new order, then to cmd dot beep message box, the updates to the order has been saved successfully. Okay, all right, VB information, and the title of the message box will be information as well. Right, now the third scenario is when the order status is empty, when there is no order status, when actually basically this is a new order. In that case, we have to look for the order type field. It has to be filled in, and then only we can proceed further. Okay, so what we are going to do is else if is null me dot order type yep, me dot order type dot value is equal to true, then to cmd dot beep message box, please choose the order type from the drop down menu. Okay, VB critical information, me dot order type dot set focus. All right, so I'll explain what is happening here. Here with these two code blocks, the first code block will check if the order is already invoiced, right? If that is false, then it will move ahead and it will check if the order status is new order. If it is new order, then it will save the data, update the information whatsoever. If that is false as well, then system will determine that, oh, this is a new order which is being created. And so when system will determine that this is a new order which is being created, then the Microsoft Access will look for this particular field. It has to be filled in. If it is not, then it will throw an error saying that please make sure that you choose the order type from the drop down list. So this is what will happen with these 3 code blocks. Okay, I hope you have understood what I'm trying to say here. All right, so next is, if all of this is false, then what needs to be done? Else, then straightforward, go ahead and save the order, and while saving the order, populate the order date in this field, fetch the employee ID from the dashboard, and then that is it, and populate the order status and started days as well. So that's what we are going to do now. Else, all right, me dot, what is that, order date, not created on, me dot order date dot value is equal to now, and then next field we have to populate is employee ID, basically the employee who has created that particular order. So me dot employee ID dot value is equal to, now that information we will get from the dashboard. So we'll go to the design view, and in the dashboard, now here's the problem here. The problem is we don't have the employee ID on the dashboard. We only have the employee name. So that becomes a problem. Well, we can solve that problem simply by copy pasting this field here, and we will change it to txt employee ID. That is it. And because this field will be hidden on the dashboard, right? Because right now if I will go to the form view, of course it's not showing anything because it's empty. That's why it's not showing, but actually it is visible. You can see here visible is yes, so we'll make it visible no. I'm sure there are other ways. I mean, I'm sure we can fetch the employee ID through record set as well, but I think this is the simplest way that we can get the employee ID. Okay, so now we will get whatever ID is here, we'll get it from here, and we will fetch that and we will bring it on our employee ID. So we'll say forms and dashboard F, and the field name is txt emp ID. So that's how we will bring the employee ID information from the dashboard. If you would like to keep it visible, you can. I don't want it, so I just make it invisible. So I make it visible no, simple as that. But if you would like, you can keep it. There is no harm in showing the employee ID on the dashboard. Anyway, so let's move forward, and the next field that we are going to fetch, and by the way, we have to do some more setting here, and we'll have to add a line of code in the login form, which we will do later. And then next is basically that is it, and we will populate the status, order status, and we'll populate the status date as well. So we'll say me dot order status, or me dot status dot value is equal to new order, me dot status date dot value is equal to now, and then we will save it. We'll give a message box after the beep. The order has been created, please proceed to add the order lines. Whatever message you wish to populate, you can. Okay, it's up to you. And we will close it with end if. That is it. That's the save button code. Debug it, save it. And now with those line of codes, we can update, we can create a new order. And now remember I was saying that we have to make a little bit change in the login form. So let's go ahead and do that, because at the moment, if whenever we will log in, we will not have the employee ID here. So let me demonstrate to you first. Okay, I know I'm going off the track, but it is important to show you. Okay, employee one, I think that's the, so right now you can see the welcome employee one, only the name is showing, but there is no employee ID. So that change we have to make. So we have to bring the employee ID here. So what we need to do is we need to make a little change in the login form behind the login button. So we'll go to the event tab, and here we'll have to add a line of code. So we'll just simply copy forms dashboard f txt emp id, and from the table, from the employees table, we'll have emp id. We'll fetch this information from the table. Okay, now if I will log in, we will have, hopefully we will have the employee ID populated as well. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. You can see one here. One means that is the employee ID for the employee one. So that's what I wanted to get populated. Now you can see that why I was saying that I would like to hide the employee ID. So we'll hide this, simple as that. So it won't appear on the login form. Okay. All right. So that is done for the save data. Now let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of VBA coding on this subform, particularly on this delete button. So why delete button? Well, sometimes of course when customer is there in front of you, and let's say you're operating this POS system, and customer first say, hey, I would like to buy this item, so please make sure that you add it in your bill. But suddenly then customer will decide not to buy that item. So if that order is not invoiced yet, if the status is not confirmed, then of course the user must have the option to actually delete that line item because customer is not buying it. All right, so that VB coding we need to do behind this delete button. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll select on this button. We'll go to the event tab, and we want this on click event ... code builder. Okay, and we will choose 2cmd dot run command ac cmd delete. Okay, that's the VBA code we would like to have. Now one more thing we need to do is, remember, we always want this error handling code. Okay, so make sure that you do it. But there is a condition as well. So let's say if the form is empty, like in this form, if the form is empty, there is no line item added, and if somebody clicks here, it should give an error saying, hey, there is nothing to delete, why you are clicking here, right? So that's what I'm trying to say here. So we have to build that logic as well. So if the status is empty and somebody is trying to delete, it should not be deleted. So that's the first logic. The second logic, actually that's the second logic. The first logic should be if the order status is invoiced or the invoice number is already populated, then first of all, this button should not be activated. If it is activated, then it should not delete any line item. Okay, that's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and build those logics. So let's go ahead, on error, resume next. If me dot status, well, actually this status is this one. If order F, now why we have to give the reference of the order? Because the order status is here, right? So we are referring to this particular field here right now. So that's why, because this field is in the main form, that's why we have to give reference of the main form when we are giving the code. Okay, if forms order F status dot value is equal to invoiced, then what should be done? Well, to cmd dot beep message box, this line item cannot be deleted as the order has been invoiced. Okay, and we will give VB critical, and the title would be information. Secondly, if the status of this line item, now we are referring to this status field. Okay, so if the status of this line item is empty, then also give an error that, hey, nothing is there to be deleted, so why you're clicking. Else if is null, me dot status dot value is equal to true, then to cmd dot beep message box, this action cannot be performed as there is no line item to be selected. Okay, VB critical information. All right, now that is done. So first we looked at the order in the main order form status. That's why we had to give the reference as forms order F, and then we had to look at the status field here. Okay, so that's when we have to give. Now there is another condition that we can apply. Well, let it be, right? Let it be, because when we will create the invoice, basically all this line items should be considered as invoiced items. Okay, so else, and that is it. Because when you will run this line of code, I think this line of code will give a prompt to user saying, hey, do you really want to delete this item? If you will click on yes, then of course it will allow to delete the item, otherwise it will not. So this is my hope that this line of code will give a prompt to user. But if in case it doesn't, then of course while testing we will look at it. And let's go ahead and save it, debug it, so there is no error. Let's do a little testing. Let's click on save data. So you can see, please choose the order type from the drop down menu. Now you can see that, oh, menu is a wrong spelling, I believe. You can see that we put two logics, right? First it will check if the order status is invoiced, then it will check if the order status is new. If both of them are false, then access will determine that, oh, the user is trying to create a new new record. So then then the system will recognize, and accordingly it will work. So that's what happens here. So it's saying please choose the order type. So it has recognized that it's a new order which is being created. So that worked. And now I will click on this button. So what it says, this action cannot be performed as there is no line item to be selected. So this code also is working, which means it has recognized that the status of this line item is empty, and therefore this action cannot be performed. I think that is it for this video. I hope you have learned something, and next video we will continue with the order form. For sure there are a lot of things that we need to cover for this forms, so I'm going to split these videos in multiple videos, because honestly my statistics, my analytics, YouTube analytics suggest me that people don't really watch the longer videos. So I thought to, making them short will be suitable. Anyway, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.